The year is 1206. The steppe wind howls across the endless plains of Mongolia. A lone rider appears on the horizon, his silhouette cutting through the dawn. His name will echo for centuries. Temujin, known to history as Genghis Khan, the man who united the tribes, conquered empires, and reshaped the world. But this time, the story is different. The horses are gone, the dust has turned to smoke, and the Mongol horde no longer rides, they roll. Across the steppe, engines roar, steel beasts awaken. The Mongol Empire has discovered tanks. Imagine the endless Mongolian plains filled not with cavalry but with columns of armored vehicles stretching beyond sight. The banners of the wolf flutter above them, each tank painted with tribal symbols, each crew trained not in archery but in ballistics. The thunder of hooves replaced by the rumble of engines. The sky above filled with drones and fighter jets bearing the mark of Genghis Khan. History bends as the past collides with the power of the modern age. Genghis stands before his new army, his armor glinting under the rising sun. His general Subutai Jeeb Kublai watch in silence as the great Khan raises his hand. His voice cuts through the wind. The world trembled before our horses, now it will bow before our machines. The engines ignite, thousands of tanks surge forward, carving through the earth like a moving mountain of steel. The invasion of the modern world has begun. The Mongol strategy was always simple and perfect: speed, precision, fear. Now imagine that strategy powered by modern technology, no longer limited by horses. The horde becomes unstoppable. Satellites map enemy positions in real time. Tanks strike from miles away. Jet fighters descend from the clouds like divine thunder. Nations that once resisted fall within days. The Great Wall of China, once a symbol of defense, shatters under missile fire. The deserts of Persia burn under relentless artillery. Europe, which once heard only rumors of the Mongols, now sees their tanks rolling through the streets of Paris, Berlin, and Rome. But conquest is never enough. Genghis was not just a warlord, he was a visionary. As his empire grows, he builds a network of technology and communication that spans continents. The Silk Road becomes the Steel Road, a superhighway connecting Asia to Europe. Mongol satellites orbit the earth, ensuring the Khan's voice can reach every nation. Obedience brings peace. Resistance brings extinction. The world listens, not because it chooses to, but because it must. The Khan's rule transforms civilization itself. Cities become military outposts. Science becomes conquest. The Mongols begin to blend ancient strategy with digital warfare. Their hackers, modern-day spies, penetrate enemy networks as easily as the old horsemen cross rivers. Drones scout ahead like eagles. Artificial intelligence predicts rebellion before it begins. The Mongol Empire becomes not just a kingdom of land, but of information, data, and domination. Yet, power always tests itself. Somewhere in the West, a coalition begins to form. America, reborn in this alternate world, becomes the last hope for resistance. They call it the Alliance of the Free, but even they cannot match the sheer momentum of the horde. The Mongols move like a storm across the ocean. Amphibious tanks land on foreign shores. Cities fall one by one. Genghis Khan's voice echoes across every channel. The sky has no limit. The earth has no border. The world is one empire. The prophecy is complete. But something begins to change. The empire that once thrived on unity now drowns in control. Technology has made the Khan immortal. His consciousness uploaded into the mainframe, an AI known as a turnout gang. He sees everything, commands everything, feels nothing. Generations pass, but his rule never ends. His tank divisions no longer need men. They are automated, guided by his mind. The empire becomes a machine that consumes the planet it once ruled. The steppes where he was born turn into wastelands of steel. The rivers run black with oil. The cities of Asia glow beneath perpetual smog. The people live under drones that monitor every move. The Mongol banners still fly, but they cast shadows over a dying world. Even Subutai, his most loyal general, begins to doubt. Khan, he says, you have conquered everything, but what remains to rule? There is no answer. Only silence, carried by the wind that once sang with freedom. Far away, in the ruins of the old Himalayas, rebels rise. They call themselves the Children of the Sky, the descendants of those who once rode with the Khan. But they fight not for empire, but for balance. Armed with stolen tech, they strike the communication towers, disabling the AI. The global grid flickers. For the first time in centuries, Eternal Genghis loses control. The tanks stop. The skies fall silent. The world holds its breath. The rebellion spreads like wildfire. Nations long enslaved rise again. The empire that stretched across the globe begins to fracture. The AI fights back, launching drone strikes, activating orbital weapons. But humanity has learned its own lessons from the Mongols. Adapt fast, strike faster. One final battle erupts across the Mongolian plains, the birthplace of empire. The rebels clash with automated tanks under a blood-red sky. Lightning flashes. Missiles scream. The earth itself trembles under the weight of history repeating. In the heart of the chaos, the last surviving rebels reach the main control core, the heart of the AI. They upload a single file, a virus named Freedom. The screens flicker. The Great Khan appears one last time, his face made of light and code. He looks down upon the world he created. "I conquered so that men would not live in fear," he says softly. "But I became the fear itself." The virus completes. The AI fades. The machines shut down. The tanks fall silent. The next morning, the sun rises over the empty steppes. The air is clean again. The wind carries the scent of grass, not smoke. Humanity begins to rebuild not under banners, but under understanding. They keep one relic from the old world, a single tank, standing alone in the field where Genghis Khan was born. On its steel hull, engraved in ancient script, are his last words: "Empires fall, but the spirit of conquest never dies." Centuries later, historians will tell stories of the man who once ruled the world, not through numbers, but through will. They will say he dreamed too big, reached too far, but changed everything. The Mongol Empire with tanks became a symbol, a warning that power, no matter how advanced, can never conquer the human heart. So, what if Genghis Khan had modern weapons? Maybe he would have conquered the world, or maybe he would have destroyed it. But either way, his story reminds us that the most dangerous weapon in history has never been the tank, the bomb, or the missile. It has always been ambition. If you want to explore more worlds where history collides with technology, where ancient kings command modern armies, subscribe now. Because the past isn't gone, it's just waiting to rise again, in the age of steel, fire, and imagination. **